Hey everybody, about a month ago I put a Facebook post out, a video about how to really cut all your cravings for sugar. And I did it kind of quickly, so I got a lot of questions back, and as such, I'm going to explain the science a little bit more and go a little bit slower and explain why this is so amazing. Diabetes and obesity is caused by sugar intake, without question. It's not fat intake, it's sugar intake. And so many people think that they're just sugar or carbohydrate junkies. The reason is when you eat refined sugars, and it's in almost everything that we bake, what happens is your body can digest it very quickly. It causes a massive blood sugar high, and then your body responds by releasing a ton of insulin, and then you get a blood sugar crash very quickly. When you have a blood sugar crash, then you crave more sugar. So being a carbohydrate or sugar junkie is physiological. It's not up here, okay? So in order for you to cut all your cravings for sugar and carbohydrates, what we have to do is just regulate your blood sugar. And you can do that with dietary fiber. Okay, dietary fiber is primarily promoted as a laxative, but recently it's also been promoted as a weight management supplement, a appetite suppressant supplement, things like that. It's excellent for diabetes. It's very heart healthy, and it's 100% natural. It's gluten free. This one is Konsyl, KONSYL.com. Konsyl is amazing. And so we're going to go through the process. So the first question that I got is, when do I take it? Well, I like to take it in the morning because it regulates my blood sugar through the day. Now, if I find myself getting cravings in the afternoon, for sugar specifically, I'll take a little bit more. So this is how and why it works so well. This one's been sitting for about 5 minutes. I just simply took actually only a teaspoon, okay? You're going to start slow with this. I took a teaspoon with water, and you can see here that literally I can hang it upside down like that, and it creates a gelatin formation that's very, very thick. Now, the second question that came up is, can that not block your intestine? No, listen, in a medium like this, it gets very thick, but obviously with hydrochloric acid in your stomach and extra water in your stomach and your stomach moving, it's still thick, but it would never clog you up. In fact, it's also promoted as a laxative to make you regular. So it won't clog you up. It will actually make you more regular, which is healthy as well. But the reason why it works so well, take this and visualize you putting, let's say this water here is a can of Coke or any refined sugar. If I go and pour that, see how it sits on the top there? It creates a barrier. So when you eat this, everything else that you eat for the day, whether this is food or liquid, takes longer to get into your bloodstream. The longer it takes to get into your bloodstream, the less blood sugar highs and lows you get, and the longer it takes to digest your food. Let's face it, most of us are overweight because we eat too many calories. The longer it takes to digest your food, the longer you feel full. So that's just going to sit there like that because it created that barrier, okay? So that's really the science behind it. And all of us, folks, all of us are fiber deficient because of today's processing of food. Every time we bake something, every time we use sugar and flour and all that kind of stuff, it's not good for us. How many of us actually, now some of you are going to say, well, I do it every day, but how many of us actually eat raw vegetables, which are very high in fiber, every single day? Not very often, and if you do, chances are you're not eating enough. So I take mine in the morning. Word of warning, and I hope you've watched the video up to this point, start really slow. Why? Our body is made for dietary fiber, but when you haven't had it in a really long time, it takes time for your body to adjust, but it is very healthy. So you might start with, as an example, and by the way, I like to use a mixer cup. You can do it in a glass like this, but I like to use a mixer cup because it mixes very quickly. But you might start with maybe that much. Start with a very, very small amount. I'm going to actually put my water in. I'm up to 1 full heaping tablespoon a day. I'm going to put my water in. Now people say, how much water do you use? You definitely want to be drinking more water right after, okay? So I'm going to use about that much water. I don't know, that's maybe 6-8 ounces. Actually, it's 12 ounces. I can see that right here, 12 ounces of water. I'm going to take my heaping tablespoon, like this. So there's my heaping tablespoon. I spilled a bit of it, that's okay. Now, it shouldn't sit on the top because it creates that barrier. Once I shake it up though, I have to drink it very quickly because it thickens like this. Look at that water still sitting on the top. So here, only takes a couple seconds when I have a good shaker, and now I drink it. And you definitely want to chase it with a bit more water. And definitely when you're on dietary fiber, you want to be drinking a lot more water. And I just drink some extra water because I want to make sure it gets into my stomach. So that's basically it. I left a little bit of a mess. It's absolutely amazing because again, come back to this visualization. When you have your dietary fiber in the morning, everything else that you eat the rest of the day is going to take longer to digest. The longer it takes to digest, the less calories you eat. The longer it takes to digest, the less you crave sugars and carbohydrates. So try that. Start slow, 1 small teaspoon a day, build up maybe to a tablespoon, and I guarantee your cravings for sugar and carbohydrates and sweets are going to disappear like that.